Hello everyone and welcome to my top 10 spinner list of the year of 2017. I know you guys have been waiting for this and a lot of you have been requesting for this, so finally it is here. Yes, I'm doing it. Quick shout out to Hobby Timmy because he was the first person that kind of nudged me to do a top 10 list. But you know, I really wanted to just keep everything as neutral as possible and then do a final closeout video at the end of the year. Also, since technically this is the last video of the year, I decided to add a little something special in this video, and that is the spinner board by Cody Snyder over at 6sgear.com. The reason why this is here right now is because Cody actually sent this to me as a Christmas gift when he organized the Secret Santa gift exchange over at the Daily Fidget. I told you guys it's a wonderful place, right? So I took part in it, and lo and behold, by some stroke of luck, Cody happened to draw my name for his Secret Santa, I suppose, and then he sent me one of these beautiful spinner boards. And so I decided that this video would be a great way for it to make its debut on my channel. Now there's gonna be a lot of jump cuts in this video because I want to condense everything down to make it as short as possible because it's gonna be quite a long list we're gonna run through. And on top of that, I do have some honorable mentions that I want to share with you guys as well. So let's start things off by sharing with you guys the disclaimer and all the criteria that I put forward in order to make this list possible. First of all, this list is completely based on my personal preference and personal opinions. I mean, obviously it is my list, right? But there will not be any ring spinners because I personally categorize ring spinners and hand spinners separate from each other, and ring spinners that are convertible into hand spinners also don't make the cut because most of those are actually sold as ring spinners with the option to transform it into a hand spinner and not the other way around. And that's the main reason why there will not be any ring spinners. Now the criteria that I have is largely based on the design, and design is really subjective, but these basically are designs that really speak to me, and on top of that they have to be pretty darn fidgetable in my books. And the next, of course, is the value for money. Now when I'm talking about value for money, I mean things like what it comes with, the packaging, the extras if there's any, and of course the price that I'm talking about is referring to the original retail price. Even if it's on sale right now at this point of the video, I'm still taking it from the original retail price, and that's just to be fair. Of course, I will not include shipping costs because if I include that, it'll be way too expensive because I live here in Singapore and most of the time, shipping fees are a killer. That said, of course, spin time is not a factor. Definitely not, because I'm not a spin time junkie and I don't really care if a spinner is a long spinner. But of course, if a spinner cannot even hold a spin for at least a minute, it would not even be on this list because that basically means that the spinner sucks. The next criteria is one of the bigger ones, and that is that I'm limiting this list to spinners that were released only in the year of 2017, which basically means, yep, no Hyperstone. You guys already know that my number one of all time is the Hyperstone, so nope, it is not going to be featured on this list. On top of that, the last and final criteria that goes hand in hand with that is that a spinner on this list has to be something that I've owned, and I actually own, for at least 2 months. Being fair, sometimes there is this unspoken novelty of something being new and it's more fresh in your mind, so you naturally want to reach out to it more simply because it's new. And so I wanted it to be as fair as possible across the board, and so that is why these two criteria are the main criteria. Once again, it has to be a spinner that I've actually owned for at least 2 months and spinners that were released only in the year of 2017. Now with that said, let's start the list. Taking the number 10 spot on my top 10 list of spinners in the year of 2017 is a spinner that will surprise almost all of you. It is the Soul Spin in stainless steel by Spinner Addicts. Yep, I told you guys you'd be surprised. Now the buttons featured on these are the Kong buttons, but originally the Soul Spin comes with a very deeply dish button. And the reason why I came to know of this spinner in the first place is because of Zin Fidgetry. Now if you guys don't know, Zin aka Melvin, he's also another reviewer on YouTube. Go check out his channel if you've not. He's new and upcoming, but he does his best. But this I got at the price of $29.99, which at the point of time was considered really cheap for a mini-sized spinner. Now I can't really say that this is a micro-sized spinner, but yet it is slightly smaller than a standard mini-sized spinner, but still bigger than a micro. So I would classify this as a mini-sized spinner, but this is just pure joy. It's one of the spinners that has never disappointed me. Now I know that quite a lot of people have had some gripes with this thing. A lot of people left feedback that the edges were too sharp and all that. I gotta say that I did not find any sharp edges. Maybe because I lucked out, I don't know. But for $29.99, it's light, it's discreet, it's got a good size, and the arms are very nicely spaced out, which makes for a very comfortable fidgeting experience no matter which way you fidget with this bad boy. Soul Spin, everyone. Number 10. Now unlike number 10, number 9 will come as no surprise to all of you. It is the Origin stainless steel but it has to be the V1.5 version. Now the V1 actually had ridges on the outer edge of the buttons that caused some discomfort to some people, but once the V1.5 was released, these buttons, I tell you, these buttons, they are just beautiful. Look at that deep dish and how wide it is and so comfortable. And get this guys, this was released into the market at an under $40 price point. Now I got it for $34.99 and it came with an extra bearing. I mean, what can I say? Thick, chunky goodness, wonderful heft, spins very, very well. Now the performance on this guy was way above its price point. You would expect something like this to be going for about $80 or more. One of the main nuances that helped this get its number 9 spot is the fact that these raised areas over here outside of the buttons are angled outwards, because sometimes with a 90-degree cut, it might bite and snag you when you're performing preloaded flicks. But with this angled cut right here, none of that. So once again, this is the Origin spinner in stainless steel by Legacy Spinners, everyone, taking my number 9 spot. Coming in at number 8 is something a little bit newer, and it is none other than the DNA Y by Spinnetic Spinners. I've mentioned before that the DNA Y is a huge improvement from the classic Y that was one of the first releases by Spinnetic. It's got chamfers on the outer edges, rounded off at every corner possible. Very nice curved groove area for your finger to rest in, and just kind of turns the arms into kind of semi-flippers. And then the price point, guys, for $44.99, this is one of the spinners that offered the most value for money. You get 2 sets of buttons, one with the laser etching if you wanted something with a little bit more grip, and one plain without the laser etching. You also get an extra bearing, and you get a removal tool as well. Very fidgetable, looks good, very comfortable, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my experience with the DNA Y in stainless steel. And I just want to mention this, when I got the DNA Y, I, and X, the Y was easily my favorite out of the 3, and it's won itself the number 8 spot on my top 10 list. Nabbing the number 7 spot is the Spin God's Talisman in stainless steel by the Spin Space store, aka Fabian Botero, who is also the man behind Spin Space, the Facebook group, as well as the Spin Space YouTube channel. Such a simple design, but yet so well done. And I'm gonna say it again, I know that everyone says this looks like the Mitsubishi logo, but like I mentioned in my original review video, once you realize that this line is not a perfectly straight line, you will not be able to unsee it. And the feature of the Spin God's Talisman that I enjoy the most is these finger huggers. These are by far the most comfortable finger huggers on any spinner that I own or any spinner that I've ever tried. It's just so comfortable. My fingers just rest in there and it nestles so comfortably. They let me fidget and regenerate my spins with complete ease, and it just feels so good. These are just great. I did not expect to have so much fun with this spinner. Initially, Fabian sent me the brass version, and when he told me that he was going to release a stainless steel version, I told him, say no more, and I hopped on the pre-order the moment it was released. And this is the stainless steel deep stone-washed version. And of course, these are Kong buttons because you know I love the Kong buttons. But the reason why I chose the stainless steel version over the brass version was because the brass version had pretty shallow buttons, but that was completely fixed in the stainless steel version. So kudos to you, Fabian. Good job on that. Now, I purchased this for $90, and because I was on the pre-order, it came with an extra set of buttons, and those were the Afterburner buttons by Ultra Spinners, and also it came with an extra bearing. What more can you ask for? Beautiful spinner, simple design, but yet so functional and feels so good. Number 7 on my top 10 list. Spin God's Talisman in stainless steel. Taking the number 6 spot is the Sonder Tri by Vinan Labs, and this is the titanium version. Yes, it has been anodized because I sent it over to Spinetics, so if you guys are interested in getting your titanium spinners anodized, go hit the Spinetic team up because they've done a wonderful job on this. Look at that beautiful blur pull and that beautiful champagne on the buttons. But that's not the point. Having it in a different color is not a factor why this was in my number 6 spot. Now, I've tried 3 materials that the Sonder was released in, which is aluminum, stainless steel, as well as this in titanium, and by far the titanium version is my favorite out of the 3. But it's earned its number 6 spot because it is one of the most, if not the most ergonomic spinner available in the market. Now, the team over at Vinan Labs actually set out to create possibly the most ergonomic spinner, and I will say that they really hit their mark. This guy is just so comfortable, it feels so good in hand. It came very, very well packed and very, very well protected in a beautiful cardboard box that was completely different in style from every other spinner release at the point of time. Just added so much to the experience of unboxing it, and the titanium version actually doesn't feel light at all. In fact, it is quite hefty for titanium simply because of the sheer amount of mass on this thing. Now for the stainless steel version, I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed the stainless steel version, but over extended periods of time you would start to feel finger fatigue. In fact, you would really feel like your hand was getting exhausted because of the sheer weight of it. But the titanium version, I feel, just hits the sweet spot of the exact perfect amount of weight for this form factor. Now this one is slightly pricier than the rest of these spinners on the list. I bought this for $127, but that, however, is to be expected simply because of the sheer amount of material being used in this particular spinner. Titanium, guys, solid titanium. Even the buttons are in titanium. This is the Sonder Tri in titanium, everyone, by Vinden Labs. Looks like we're done with the first 5, everyone. Moving on to the top 5, and this is the part that you guys have been waiting for, so here we go. At number 5, we have the one and only Zero Metric Spinner, manufactured by GLM Tech, designed by 2J7 EDC, aka An Jong-un. This is one of the 2 dual spinners that were released in the market. The first one being the Split Brain, but the Zero Metrics just blows the Split Brain out of the water. No kidding, it is one of the most fun spinners that I own, and there were only 16 of these ever made. But that of course comes with the higher price point at $180. But it has beautiful machining marks, something that you cannot deny. And the footprint of this was based on the very popular Geometric Spinner by GLM Tech as well. But the fact that they were able to vary the details on this, just wonderful job for a dual bar spinner that is convertible into a single spinner if you'd like. But having it in its dual form is just something so enjoyable, and it is completely different from grabbing 2 press fit style spinners and then grabbing a stackable button set, like for example from Rotorblade or Flyaway Toys. It's just completely different when you have a spinner that was originally designed for that dual functionality. The fidgeting experience is just amazing, and the effects that it creates is just out of this world. Look at that. And on top of that, you could create interesting spin effects like this, for example. Without a doubt, this definitely deserves the number 5 spot. The Zero Metrics in stainless steel by GLM Tech, designed by 2J7 EDC. The number 4 spot goes to the Zentri Nano in stainless steel by Fidget HQ. This is by far one of the most fidgetable spinners I've ever laid my hands on, and it is the one spinner that I would always recommend to any of my friends, and especially those who are interested in getting into spinners, because this, not only is it so fun and so fidgetable with a beautiful form factor and a very sleek and clean design, the price point is what adds even more value to this. For $31.99, this is a definite no-brainer. I actually would be surprised if most spinner enthusiasts have not tried a Zentri Nano, simply because it was available in so many different material options. There were even 2 damaged steel versions as well as a tungsten version that I have right here. Man, what can I say? The Zentri Nano is the most fidgetable spinner in my books for this year. It's so fidgetable and it's so affordable that I actually own multiples of this. And when I say multiples, I literally mean multiples of the same material, because you guys know I'm a sucker for stainless steel. I have one right here which I have stonewashed already, and this one actually sports the wonderful portal buttons by Damn Designs. But I have another stainless steel one on my key fob with me all the time. I have another stainless steel one at my office on my desk, so I can just reach out and fidget with it. Very well sized, very pocketable, not too heavy, not too light, but just so darn fidgetable. There are no hotspots on this. The outer edges have all been very nicely rounded and chamfered. Wonderful job by Fidget HQ, and very well deserving of the number 4 spot. The Zentri Nano in stainless steel by Fidget HQ, and of course, special mention for the tungsten version as well. We are down to the top 3, everyone, and the number 3 spot may be a surprise to some of you, and that's because it is the Triad by Damn Designs. Now, I'm sure that a number of you would have guessed that this might have been my number 1 spot, but no, it is my number 3. But what can I say? This is by far one of the most beautiful spinners that was released this year. Look at all the beautiful lines that this has. This finish is now, in my opinion, the trademark Damn Designs finish on their spinners. When I first laid my eyes on the Triad, I knew I just knew that this would be a winner. Even though it was a try design and everyone knows that I'm a bar kind of guy, I was immediately drawn in by the design. Priced at $54.99, this was also one of the spinners that had the most value for money. It comes with an extra set of bearings and an extra set of buttons, and those were the trademark Decagon style buttons. It also came very beautifully packaged. If you guys have not seen the packaging on the damn design spinners, I mean, you are missing out. And to top everything off, it came with an extra bearing, which made it one of the spinners that had the highest value for money in this list. But of course, to me, the biggest factor is the design. I just really love the way it looks. And to top it off, it's just super fidgetable. All these large angled planes here just let your finger rest in a very comfortable spot so that you could perform your flicks with ease. And it's one of those spinners that had a lot of speculation because a lot of people are asking whether or not these pointed parts were actually going to be sharp, and all I have to say to that is that this is one of the spinners that you actually have to try and you'd be really surprised. But this has won my number 3 spot in my top 10 list, the Triad in stainless steel by Damn Designs. Coming in at number 2 is another surprising one. You guys probably will not guess it, or maybe you can, I don't know. It is the Arachnophobia by Spin Nerd. Now I'm gonna say this, the Arachnophobia Mini was a huge contender, but because of the minimum 2 months on me criteria, the Arachnophobia just won it. I mentioned before in my review video that if I were to design a spinner, it would probably look something like this, and that's really the biggest reason. And the next thing, of course, is look at that button design. Possibly the most comfortable button that was released this year as well, and it goes so well with the spinner. The spinner body itself is just completely fluid. Like, it flows all the way around, zero hotspots, just nicely curved every single direction, every single way. It tapers outwards this way, and it also tapers outwards this way. And I gotta say, man, this is such a killer design in my opinion, with these large curved areas over here that just feel so good when you fidget with it. And for the price of $65, this came very nicely packaged with an extra bearing and a bearing removal tool. And all of that thought, that hard work that resulted in the Arachnophobia has earned it the number 2 spot in my top 10 list. Before I announce number 1 on my list, I have a few honorable mentions that I want to share with you guys. And the first honorable mention goes to the Spin Star by Darth Vapor Taiwan, aka Tom Chuang. And the reason why this has gotten a mention is because I deem this spinner as a trendsetter and basically introduced everyone to the fact that you could customize your spinner with trit slots by filling it up with something other than trits. This was, I believe, the first time that the entire spinner community saw a spinner featuring brass inserts in trit slots instead of tritium vials. And this basically sparked off a lot of variations where people were looking for other materials to fill up the trit slots. For example, with spacer beads meant for jewelry, I started to use glass spacer beads. Spinetics started to offer beautiful anodized aluminum wires, but this, in my opinion, is the one that started it all. The next honorable mention goes to the Fishbone spinner by Mini-POC. Now, it is a little bit unfortunate because I don't think Mini-POC came up with any other design besides the Fishbone, but this is possibly my largest bar spinner. Of course, the Arc Ride is bigger, but that had dual functionality because it was a bottle opener as well as a bar spinner. But just as a bar spinner on its own, the Fishbone is like, what, 8 centimeters long? And with the sheer mass combined with the fact that its weights are so far thrown out from the center of the spinner, it has a spin characteristic that is unlike any other spinner in my collection. Wonderful spinner, and I'm actually quite surprised that this did not get as popular as I thought it would. The next honorable mention goes to the Smoke Spinner by VNOC Spin, simply because of the sheer design. This is by far one of the most visually arresting spinners in my collection. This was based off the folklore of the monkey god, Journey to the West. Beautiful cloud design, absolutely wonderful machining, and a very different sound that you'd expect the spinner would make. The next honorable mention goes to the Nautilus spinner by Nautilus HK. This has come to be among the community very affectionately known as the Peanut. This is a pretty hefty beast that is also one of the more ergonomic spinners released in the market. The funny thing is, the moment it went on sale, it sold like hotcakes. And this, to me, was one of the classic cases of the fact that it was a wonderful spinner just priced a little bit too high, but the fact that it sold like hotcakes once it went on sale is a testament to the fact that it is a wonderfully designed spinner. spinner. The next honorable mention goes to the Tungsten Quasar. The reason why this has gotten an honorable mention is because the Tungsten Quasar was basically the very first affordable tungsten spinner made available in the market. Now this was actually going for under $100. Now I love my Quasar. I actually sent it off the prongs and you guys know that, and then I flamed it. But man, this is a purchase that is just super value for money. And the last honorable mention goes to none other than the Atrium Spinner by Unquiet Hands. Now this spinner would have made it into my top 10 list, but the reason why it did not was because of the criteria that I had to own it for at least 2 months. This was released like about a month ago, so it is unfortunate, but I wanted to keep things really fair. But because of that, the Atrium Spinner deserves at least an honorable mention from me. Alright guys, enough of the suspense. The number 1 spot, aka the Average Singaporean's Spinner of the Year award, goes to the Invictus by Damn Designs. This spinner needs no introduction. The moment I laid my eyes and hands on this, it just won me over completely. Beautiful design with the trademark Damn Designs machine finish, $54.99 that came with an extra bearing and an extra pair of buttons, very beautifully packaged. I guess at the end of the day guys, I'm still a bar kind of person and the Invictus just does it for me. Best spinner of the year of 2017 in my books. Congratulations Damn Designs, congratulations Adrian D'Souza. You deserve it. The Invictus has won my number 1 spot. And there we have it guys, my top 10. So here we go, really quick recap everyone. Number 10, Soul Spin in stainless steel by Spinner Addicts. Number 9, Origin V1.5 in stainless steel by Legacy Spinners. Number 8, DNA Y in stainless steel by Spinnetic Spinners. Number 7, the Spin God's Talisman in stainless steel by the Spin Space Store aka Fabian Botero. Number 6, the Sonder Tri in titanium by Vinan Labs. Number 5, the Zero Metric Spinner available only in stainless steel by GLM Tech, designed by 2J7 EDC. Number 4, the Zentri Nano in stainless steel by Fidget HQ. Number 3, the Triad in stainless steel by Damn Designs. Number 2, the Arachnophobia in stainless steel by Spin Nerd. And number 1, the Invictus in stainless steel by Damn Designs. And that's it everyone. We have come to the end of my top 10 spinner list of the year of 2017. Did you agree? Did you disagree with my list? Just let me know in the comment section below. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and basically this kind of like closes up the year of 2017. So I want to wish all of you a happy new year, and I'm looking forward just as much as all of you guys to what's in store for the year of 2018. Also, I want to say a quick word of appreciation to everyone that I've met throughout the year, whether or not you are a fellow enthusiast or if you are a maker. As long as we've crossed paths, I want to say thank you for making my 2017 a wonderful year, because you have been a huge part of it. Stay tuned for the next slice of my life everyone, but once again thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you all really enjoyed this video. And for the last time that you hear it in the year of 2017, Gaga Boost.